Hey everyone, let's wait for a couple more minutes. I wonder if people are having trouble with the link again.
Ulaz, I still have the old one. I'm gonna pop over there and see. I'll be right back.
Looks like some of the members are not yet aware how to or where to look up for the meeting invite. Some of them are not looking at the Slack calendar.
Yeah.
I was not able to get on the old link, so I'm not sure what's up.
Yeah, I just put on the announcement channel as well. Let me put on the general channel as well. Are these Zoom links remain the same every week in the announcement channel, or?
Yeah, I'm just looking through that. It looks like they've been the same here at least since May 6th.
Okay. Um, yeah, I just update the calendar invite with the new link. My inbox is now flooded with undeliverable messages. That is not good. All right. I think we can start. So Suresh, we only have the 5G agenda, I guess, today. Do you want to start?
Yes, Ulas. Can you see my screen? I'm sharing.
Yes.
Okay. The big thing we have targeted in the month of June is Alpha Plus release, wherein the code from Magma 5G branch is to be migrated onto master, and also the registration and video session management features need to be strengthened with some negative scenarios. That is the critical task the team have. And in that context, the AMF init related changes are ported from 5G branch onto the master, and the code changes are reviewed to an extent. So the target is to merge the AMF init and also the proto changes and also the NGAP related changes as soon as possible. At least if this happens sometime this week, it's good. And in addition to that, the remaining chunk of code related to the state machine and also the procedures, and it is procedures, it is not only the registration and session management procedures. In addition to that, the paging and then the associated service request related changes are also getting migrated onto the master branch. So the code changes are now cleaned up. Sorry, the Magma 5G code is getting cleaned up for minor things like the comments, then the logging related errors that are there, then the variables, uninitialized variables, all such kind of things. In addition to that, some of the logic cleanup also is happening. So by end of this sprint, when I say end of the sprint, this Friday is the end of the sprint. By the time, if at least 90% of the code is migrated into the master, we are in good shape. That is the goal we are working with. Any questions on that?
Yeah, on that front, I also see Tarek in the meeting. I guess one request was next week, Monday, we plan to tag the branch and move on to the master. Will be moving on to 1.7. And only the hot fixes, patches will be moved back to 1.6, and then will be released basically in the release due date. So one ask was not to merge 5G stuff on the master yet until the branch is cut, basically. Tarek, is that still the ask?
So yeah, to reduce, to reduce the risk on 1.6, the idea was, I'm not sure if the thing is, are you going to be able to land everything on master before we cut 1.6? And if not, if we cut 1.6, then you have to kind of backport everything that you land after. So I'm willing to discuss here. What do you think is the best approach? Shall we wait until we cut 1.6 and then land the 5G code so that you continue to kind of operate on master?
I think it is better to wait till next Monday and then march on to 1.7 later on.
Okay. No, I agree.
Yeah. Because even though we are not touching much of the common code, still there are some pieces, some headers and some library code here and there. We don't want to take any chance on that. The predictability cannot be lost. So better to merge after Monday next week.
Perfect. Thanks.
Yeah. And also I saw that Amar's big super build has landed. So probably that will also create some significant merge conflicts at this point.
It creates a lot of merge conflicts, a lot of PR in merge conflict.
Yeah. So anyhow, so we are gonna face some other slowdown as well due to that.
Okay. Fine. Noted, Ulas. Yeah. And on the architecture side,
I wish actually that super build merge was postponed until we got the 1.6, but anyhow.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. And the orchestrator, say, we started off with 5G SA enable disable. For that, one small API is created, and through that, using Swagger UI, we are seeing the config files getting updated. Say mme.conf, gateway.mconfig. These config files are getting updated. So we are yet to test Magma 5G branch, say through orchestrator config. We want to see all the services are coming up, particularly the NJP related endpoint is coming up, and the procedures flows are happening correctly. If this testing is finished, of course, this is not a big feature as such. This is something that we want to demonstrate in the Thursday call. Say through orchestrator, we will enable 5G standalone mode, and then UE registration, session establishment, and traffic flow. This is what we are targeting to demonstrate this Thursday on the 5G branch.
So one thing, we should delay the merge of this code until the point we actually have an end-to-end 5G procedures successfully running on the master. Otherwise, people will assume that it, they can enable and disable that before basically we actually support it on the core network.
Right. Noted, Ulas. Yeah. And TerraVM team started testing the 5G standalone features, procedures on their environment, and they reported a issue last week. It's interesting. Somehow in their environment, one code flow is getting hit that was never hit in the real UE environment or in the NJP tester and also in the DS tester environments. Basically, interesting thing is the memory was filled with garble, and the required bit is turned on in a given byte, and we are never hitting that code flow path, and we never landed in the issue. Whereas in the TerraVM case, the authentication procedure is failing, and Yogesh has root caused the issue. Code changes are happening, and as such, the code change is little bigger in this case. Yogesh, you want to give an update how the root cause happened and what is the fix? Yogesh? Yogesh, are you with us? I think he has network issue. So Ulas, as such, the exact stack trace is realized in the crash that Yogesh has produced. Basically, there are some mem sets missing in the code. So those are added, and then authentication procedure now is called twice. First time, the authentication vectors are to be retrieved from the subscriber DB. For that, a protofile is newly created and the authentication vectors, after they are populated, the authentication procedure is called second time, wherein the authentication related downlink message is encoded and sent. So this is a little bigger change.
Yeah, for lab trial, basically, I mean, we need to be in a position where we are passing the P0 TeraVM tests by, I would say, Wednesday your time, and Tuesday California time, because June 10th is the time that we promised. Do you think we can show all those P0 tests passing by then?
This is a blocker issue, Lars, and we will be able to deliver a patch for this only by end of tomorrow our time, means Tuesday morning Pacific time.
Okay.
So unless we see surprises, we should be good, because the procedures are all happening correctly in UERAN SIM, NGAP tester, and also DS tester. So unless we see some surprises, the rest of the flow should be fine.
All right. Yeah, there were a number of issues, basically. When I was looking at the code, basically on the 5G branch, I communicated some of these issues with Vinay and Yogesh, basically. Hopefully those will be also cleaned up.
Yeah, the cleanup
during
is
this
happening.
process.
Yeah.
Yes, plus I discussed with Yogesh. So his team is doing the changes. And as we discussed on Friday, they're adding new proxy to get the subscriber vectors from the subscriber team. I think that's the reason the changes are more intelligent. And the issue mainly is happening because of UV context. So when we create new UV context, the context is not initialized, so which has some garbage values. That's why the EKSI value is having some chunk, and then it is going to wrong point.
Okay. Yeah, we need to write unit tests for each of those things to check that whether everything is initialized properly.
Yeah.
Whether they are deallocated properly after we are done with temporary data structures. Yeah, we probably won't have time to add those by Wednesday, but at least, while we are merging on the master, basically, we should be adding those.
Yeah. Unit tests are quite a good number of them. We have to add over the next couple of sprints. However, we are not confident whether we will be able to cover everything, at least the maximum scenarios we want to cover, at least to the procedures that we have declared they're passing on these simulator environments. Kaleem is dedicated working on the unit test now.
All right. So I see. So which PRs are currently ready to be merged on the 5G branch?
Okay, these are all related to merge onto the master.
No, but we still need to merge some stuff on the 5G branch, no? Before.
I think I will. It's better I will share that offline with you on Slack, Ulas. I don't have the data with me here.
So 7333 is also ready to.
Yeah, can you pass that on the Slack channel?
Yeah, sure.
Vinay and Yogesh also from your end.
I think the PR that Vinay has looks like it has some dependency on the code. Vinay, I think it is better you and Yogesh sync up Yogesh is seeing some more changes on top of your code.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send up.
All right.
That update from our side.
Are there any questions from the other participants? If not, we have half an hour time left. Maybe we can do a quick around the table checks basically about the features where we are. Rashmi, do you want to give an update on inbound roaming and then the fixes that you have been working on?
Yeah, Lash. Yeah, currently the two issues I fixed. One was related to X2 handover. Like after X2 handover, once service request is done, it was resulting into ICS failure. That I fixed, but I had yet to raise a PR for that one. Another fix I provided was related to the goodies tail entries. It has like many other fixes, like it was like once a UE context was getting created, it was just getting added with default values, that is MTMC was FFF. That is one thing. Another thing was related to during the duplicate attach handling. So while handling the new attached request, if UE comes in the uplink NAS message, whenever we handle the new attached request, that I'm used to reset the EMM context without impacting the UE context. So since we are reinitializing the EMM context, the booty was getting reinitialized. Basically, it was getting reset to 0. So I just modified that part. And another thing, well, like in case if attached second attach comes in the initial UE message, actually from the code, like it used to send the UE context release. In case if the UE is already in idle, then that particular MMU S1 API is removed from the S1 API. So it was not sending UE context release complete to the MME app. So I just modify such that if it is an idle, it can remove the UE context locally without sending notification to S1 API. Yeah, and with respect to the inbound roaming, I started working on supporting the establishing the dedicated bearer support.
The status stuff is, I see that it is updated. So that requires one more pass, I guess, no?
Which one?
The stateless support.
Yeah,
For
stateless.
UE
Yeah,
IPMC
right.
map.
Yeah. Stateless support for the UAPMC. Yeah, I
Okay,
incorporated new comments for that one.
so you need to rebase both PRs because I see now the merge conflicts after Amar's PR has been landed.
Sure.
They should be mainly, I think, folder location related name changes.
Okay.
But check them out. I mean,
Yeah, sure. But in one comment with respect to stateless support for UAIPMC map, right? Rafael was facing some performance impact. So I just wanted to check that part. Actually, locally, I executed a random UE attached detached test case, but it was fine. Like I executed multiple times. So,
yeah, I mean, the scaling test we do is on a particular, machine basically, a machine type with some fixed processor and fixed memory, etc. Yeah, the measurements over the development environment on Vagrant VMs or other virtual machines are not our baseline for scale testing.
Okay.
Yeah, it will be if the PR, if you can rebase your stuff and provide a binary, MME binary, we can test it basically on one of the physical machines we have in our lab.
Sure,
That
I
we
can
use
do
for this purpose. If you can provide it for the Ubuntu
Ubuntu.
virtual machine, the Magma focal.
Okay. Yeah, by default it will be Ubuntu, right?
Yeah. Hmm?
By default it will be Ubuntu, right? Because we have the Vagrant file.
We still have the Ubuntu as Magma focal. I think if you just do Vagrant up Magma, it will bring up the Debian still, I think.
Okay.
You know, I haven't done it since last Thursday night, so I don't know if anything has changed since then.
Okay.
But
So
yeah, I mean, if you can create it for Debian, and if you can also do the release build for the MME,
okay.
you know, we can just move the binary and test it.
Fine. Okay, one like in case if you want to explicitly specify as a Ubuntu, what's the command for it?
Magma underscore focal.
Okay.
If you look at the Vagrant file, you can see it there.
Sure, I can take a look.
Or just run Vagrant status. I guess it should be also showing.
Okay. Okay. So that binary I should be sharing over Slack or over the workplace?
Slack will be probably better. Workplace might have some limitation in terms of the file size.
Okay.
If you have a problem, just let me know. I can provide you a folder. You can just upload it there.
Fine. Yeah, that's all from me.
And there was one minor comment on that PR about checking the MME ID. Did Prithvi comment on that?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Ulash.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So that is not the fix that I have done. The fix that I did was a different one where even though the removal of hash table entry was not successful, the MME-S11 TID was getting set to 0. So I had just added a condition to check that only if the hash table removal is successful during detach, only then set this S11 TID, MME-S11 TID to 0. So that was the fix that I had given. And this, what Rashmi has done is a different scenario and a different fix.
Okay. All right. Thanks for verifying that. So while we are at you, Prithvi, do you want to also give a quick update?
Yeah, so implementation is done for service area restriction. So internal review is going on. So today I wanted to test this on TerraVM setup, but I was not sure of the test cases. I just found a couple of test cases and I just executed them without placing my binary. I just wanted to see how the zone codes are sent in ULA. So I saw that zone code is getting sent as 5 octets instead of 2. So I am really not sure if I'm looking at the right test case. So I can just, can you just share me the test cases that I have to test?
Yeah, let's check with Arun. He basically prepared the test cases.
Okay.
So
Also, there was one more test. I executed 2 test cases. I thought those were the ones because they had service area restriction as the name of the test case. The other test case I think is for sending attach reject because the tag is not found in the subscription. But when I look at the initial UE message, both the test cases have the same tag and the same zone codes. So I'm not sure what these 2 test cases are exactly doing. So yeah, so I was not sure if that is the test case or are there any different test cases that I should be testing.
okay, I mean, after our meeting here done, let's sync up basically with Arun and Oriol in terms of the test scenarios being defined and whether there is any configuration issues. I also need to check one more thing. I added the configs through the orchestrator last Friday, but I haven't checked on the access gateway whether they were streamed properly. I need to log on to the access gateway and check the gateway M config being streamed.
Okay.
Okay.
And the PR that is raised by Oriol, that I think is still open. That is not yet merged.
Yeah, that needs to be also closed. Okay, I mean, yeah, without that change, and how the test case will fail. Okay, let's sync up on those on the Slack channel on the work chat after the meeting.
Yeah, that's all from me.
All right, Leona, do you want to give a quick update on the NSA?
Yes. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Actually, the last update was the replying of the UE additional security capabilities, that is to say the NR capabilities in this last message. Well, it is not of interest of Magma, but we added the extended IPN MBR and extended MBR on the S6A/diameter interface to be compatible with OAI HSS. Then on my side, that is fine. Mohit, can you add something?
Yeah, sure. Hey, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Okay. So for the NSA side, for the NSA task and the Magma side, I'm working on the additions of some of the information elements and AVPs for the update location procedure and the create session request, which are based on NSA specific IEs. And I'm about to finish those, which includes addition of AMBR units for the create session procedure and the update location procedure.
Are there any questions from anyone or any open issues that anyone wants to discuss? If not, I want to give back the time to everyone. I know it is late in some time zones.
Yeah, thanks, Ulas.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.